Hey, welcome back to MDawg 21-22 leveling guide. We are actually trying a new spot here at Old Berg. Actually casting more like this. So what's that? Almost all the way to east, a little north of east, but again, fishing for bream here at Old Berg. You know, just time of day when I got ready to log in to see what we could put together. It's nighttime, so I figured, well, might as well fish for bream first again. And then we'll see. We'll see if I feel like going to Belay after this or what we want to do in the morning. But I don't know about this spot. So on VK, people are talking about this spot. Some people are clipped 10 meters here at 1044. I'm actually clipped 20. It may not be as good as our other spot that's over at G5 or whatever, but wait, is it G5 or is it F6? No, I think it's G5 area. Anyway, but we fished that one so much, I figured let's try a different spot and see how it compares. So we'll see. We're at 385 silver. I'm not 100% sure if this is a bream at all. Oh yeah, it probably is. So yeah, we'll see how this spot performs. A little farther clip than your average bream spot at Old Berg, but... And it's been a while since I've fished this spot, or even any spot over here on this side of the coast of the island, but it definitely in the past... There have been some hot spots over here, so also why I was curious to come try it out. It's a decent bream. So first one decent. It's chunky bream. Over 3 for the first one. Wow. Yeah, so again, we're just kind of casting over here. 20 meter clip. Garlic dough, regular bream mix, and we'll see what we can do. So I still haven't decided 100% on what our next gear step is going to be, because that decision point really is determined by, do you want to fast track your way to fishing for carp and having a really efficient size reel to troll at places like Kori and Volkov? And if that's the case, then obviously I think the right move is to save for caliber HSV and either a carp rod or a nice big feeder rod to put it on. And for a lot of people, that probably is the right move if you really want to efficiently get to carp fishing as quickly as you can. And there's some real advantages to that. However, you are kind of missing out on the whole world of trolling, which it's nice to be able to start trolling at this point at Kori, because it just is such a change of pace, and at times it's decently good, you know. It pairs so nicely with bream fishing. Since you're fishing for bream at night, you can go during the day at Kori. But and somebody in game chat actually right now is talking about the HSV, and their theory is that the Narga is a better option if you're focused on trolling, but the HSV is better for carp, which I would just say the HSV can do both really well. So that's why I would always choose the HSV over the Narga, but some people really like the Narga. So there are other options. That's just sort of my preference. I wonder if this will continue. I mean, so the bite rate's not been like crazy good, but we also didn't see the small ones. Now, that's our first non-marker. But I mean, sometimes since we started fishing a little early here, sometimes you see those really small ones. We haven't seen those, but we have seen some good sizes so far. We'll see if that continues. So if you're not wanting to fast track your way to carp fishing at this point, then you could consider going more of the Saber 60 route and using those to troll at Corey for now. You're still going to get a little wrecked by the larger Arctic char and lake trout and Corey char, but the average size fish of those you're going to be able to get in pretty efficiently, I think. And miss it. And so it's definitely a step up from trying to do something like use these at Corey like we did that one day. So I don't know. Still haven't decided. We've got plenty of time to think about it, though. We're only at 385 silver. So, if you think about if we're averaging 200 silver an episode, which we should be able to do if we're fishing for bream and then doing something relatively useful during the day, we should be able to get pretty close to 200 an episode. In particular, those episodes we go a little past an hour. That's a lot. I mean, several episodes before we're starting to get to the point of making that decision. I'll pull up the prices while we're waiting on bites so we can think about that, but all right, we want to look at the reel sheet, spinning reels. All right, the caliber HSV is 2,685 silver. Where the Saber 60 is 1,100 silver. So it's more than twice as much. I think to me the price on the caliber HSV just seems so good, so competitive, that spending 1,159 silver on a Saber 60 kind of is like, ooh, feels a little pricey maybe. But the Supercast, on the other hand, is 698 silver. So maybe that's the option. If you want to do an in-between reel, instead of spending almost 1,200 on a Saber 60, spend almost 700 on a Supercast. We get a couple of Supercasts, and then we could use those to troll at Corey for a little bit if we want to. And then once once you get to be higher level and you don't need to use Supercast for trolling anymore, you can then convert those Supercast into really nice, small to medium sized feeder fish, bream, tench, that kind of stuff. But smaller to medium-sized fish reels, like something that I would use on my main account on like my Bunison either feeder or picker rods. Again, except for that one, this has been a very... Oh, here's a second one. I think I spoke too soon. This might be just under marker size. We'll see though. But mostly it's been a very efficient... No, this is another good one. So we're catching less fish overall, but we're catching a much higher percentage of the size bream that we want. So let's just see what it ends up being at the end of the night. As long as it's like, again, between 12 and 18 is what we're looking for to have a reasonably good bream session. 12 to 18 over a kilo. I mean, we're already at 8. So it's looking promising. At least compared to the last time we fished the other spot, this spot is looking better so far. Now, the last time we fished the other spot, the one over here on the coast, it just was not as strong as it had been. So that could have been a random night. Remember, it was really windy. This is when I was so tired when I tried to record an episode, 2 days ago? Yesterday? I don't even know anymore. But this is, again, it's been a long time, but in the past, this has been a good spot over here, kind of casting towards this deeper hole. I mean, I don't think we're actually making it into that at 20 meters. We're probably into this part. Sometimes it's a little farther down or a little higher up. Sometimes it's over on this side, but this whole area is often, in the past especially, has been an often like really good place to fish for bream. But I kind of, as I'm looking at these prices, I'm now sort of back thinking about, let's try the Supercast. And what we could do is we could just get one. So once we have 700 silver, as long as they're in stock somewhere that we can get to at that point, let's get one Supercast and let's just go troll Corey with just that one Supercast to see, does it feel efficient? Can we bring in, I don't know, a 7 kilo Arctic char or lake trout without chasing it around the whole lake, like you have to do on a Lacerti 2, even upgraded Lacerti 2. So Supercast has a decent size reel. The strength goes up to 8 kilos. Is that right? No, that's not right. The strength goes up to, should have it on here. Let me think about this. Let me find it. Not think about it. Let me find it. It goes up to 8.5 kilos. Now, one question I have that I don't know the answer to is, can you upgrade it farther? But either way, 8.5. So at that point, we'll probably overload it a little bit. Maybe put 10 kilo leader, 10 kilo line on there, braided line. Put a hunter spoon or some kind of spoon or a wobbler, and take it around Corey and let's just see if it works. Because if we can do that, we're not that far away from at least being able to do that experiment. You know, we've got this episode and maybe one more, and I bet we'd be able to afford a Supercast. As long as we have pretty good, you know, get a couple lucky cafe orders. Yeah, I'm liking this spot. I mean, your average bream weight per fish over here is solid. It's really good. So we're using large 1 hook, large 1 hook, large 4 hook in terms of hook sizes right now. Nice trophy common carp for Fisher 4. And I have to say, you know, we haven't spent silver upgrading our hooks in a long time. I've been pretty impressed overall for bream fishing with these happy hooks. These are relatively cheap hooks. And we haven't been losing a lot of fish. So I like that. So what are we losing with going with the Supercast versus the Saber 60s? Well, one thing is, I think with the Saber 60, if you really want to live on the edge, you can overload it a little bit and you can probably go fish for carp. In particular, if there's a carp spot that's high volume but not too big of a size. You know, maybe there's sometimes those spots at Bear pop up where you're using like smaller size boilies and corn, let's say, cocos and cream kind of stuff. And if you use the smaller size boilie, then you're catching a lot of volume. and you've got tench, golden tench mixed in with smaller carp sizes. I think you could do that with a Saber 60, live on the edge a little bit. I'm not sure I would try it with a Supercast though. So I feel like that's what you're losing. You're saying, I'm not going to be overly aggressive with carp, so I'm not going to save up for the Saber 60. I'm going to get the Supercast, and then it's cheaper, so I'm going to be able to start saving more quickly to go full-on caliber HSV for carp. That's kind of how I would think of it in my mind, but maybe after we get done with bream, I think the first thing we check is what are the cafe orders here at Old Berg, obviously, to see if we have any bream orders. But also, are there just some like pretty easy crucian, gibel, roach type orders that we could try to fill real quick? And if not, maybe we go to winding, see if there's some easy bleak order or dace. And if there's not that, then maybe we check the same thing at mosquito. I'm just trying to think of, let's try to make some silver like past the breaming time. Let's see what else might be. Somebody's asking on one of the last videos, would the Adriatica work for Corey? I can tell you I have made it work in the past, but it's a little smaller than you want it to be. Hey, we just lost a fish after I was talking about how good these hooks are doing. Now, I was pulling that fish in super aggressive because it wasn't very big. So I was holding right click the whole time. I was shift reeling the whole time. If it had been a good sized fish, I wouldn't have done that. So we were being extra risky, but we did lose it. All right, so the Adriatica. It's a 5,000 reel. It's 7.5. And let me think about spool size. Spool size is pretty small. It's not too much of a concern when you're trolling, I guess. So you're going 7.5 over 8.5, but you're saving about 200 to 250 silver. I mean, I think you could try it. I think the Supercast is just a little better option, and it's only what, 200 and something silver more. I would just feel more comfortable. But yes, I've done that in the past. I mean, before we had so many reel options, and we couldn't upgrade reels back then, going to a 7.5 reel was kind of a no-brainer. People weren't in quite as much of a hurry back then either, so we weren't making a beeline for carp. There weren't caliber HSVs to make a beeline for, so yeah, you kind of went Adriaticas. You suffered at Corey with the Adriaticas, and then you went to Saber 60. But that half step is just not as necessary to me. So you could try it. You could do like one Supercast, one Adriatica, but I think you're going to be I think that extra power in the Supercast is worth the 200 and something silver. We'll see. I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll see how the Supercast feels. I mean, we're already at 13, and we're still going to have a few more, I would think. That's so weird that somebody would even say that. Somebody in chat just said that one problem is that all maps that are level 16 and lower are dead. I mean, That has not been my experience at all. I think it's actually been really healthy since we've been doing this leveling experience. Over the last, since... When did we start this? Was it November or December? I'm not sure. I'd have to look back. Belaya's been pretty good. Old Berg's been really good for bream, carp. Pike have been really healthy at Old Berg. Winding has been really good. Mosquito's been okay for certain species. I don't know. I think it's hard to say that all the lower than level 16 maps have been dead. It may appear that way if you're like using something like VK, just because people don't post on the lower maps as often, unless it's a trophy people are really going for. You see a lot of like, hey, trophy-eyed at Mosquito post and that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean they're dead. It just means higher level players aren't posting about those as much. That's the first really small one we've had in this spot. Are we going to hit 18? Yeah, probably. Unless they just stop. But I mean, we're at 16 already. It's going to end up being a really nice bream spot once again. It's great. And this is an efficient bream spot. In other words, you're not wasting a lot of bait or ground bait, you know, pulling in the 300, 400 gram bream. This is like a 95% marker spot right now. I guess I'm not going to get cheeky. Somebody in chat just said, can somebody please tell me an active spot at Old Berg? For me, it's dead. And I was going to say, I hear there's some good leveling guides out there, but I'll just be silent. Is this barely a marker, or is it under marker? It's just barely a marker, but it doesn't count towards the 1 kilo test. If anybody else has tried fishing over here at this spot, whatever it was, G5 or whatever, let me know if it's been slowing down for you or if that was just a one-off time where it felt a little slower last time. You know, we've had a couple of small ones come in here, but it's still not even 7 a.m. We still have a chance of hitting another 2-3 kilo bream. I always get a little nervous at a spot that I haven't tried before once it's daytime like this, because you never know if like the common carp or the grass carp, black carp, if they're active in this spot. And so once the sun's up, but it's still early in the morning, you feel like hopefully you're going to get a big bream, but you also worry we could get blown up by a carp now too. Yeah, we really, if we hit something big, we want it to go right. Yeah, but you see all of a sudden we're getting these fish that are nibbling so much. There's a chance at least one of these might not be a bream. Okay, I think we're good on this one. I think something nibbled on that. On the first rod. Maybe this is the same fish, but I'm not sure that it is because it was a while ago when it was bouncing up and down. Alright, there's another good one. That's interesting. Somebody's saying they sent me something on Discord with all of the upgraded reels and their, at least the upgraded reel possibilities on at least the cheaper reels, maybe not the real expensive ones, but it popped off. Man, I really spoke too soon on that, didn't I? On those fish popping off. What time is it? 8:48? Yeah, I think we just... Alright, let's see here. See if we can find the Supercast really quick. Oh, it looks like Supercast can go up to 9 for almost 80 silver. So you get a ½ kilo upgrade. I mean, I guess that's probably worth it. Hey, thanks for the follow. So it looks like Saber 60s cannot be upgraded, if I'm reading this correctly, which somebody had told me that that was the case. Pulsar 6000s can be up to 10.5, but it takes almost 300 silver. So you're getting pretty expensive there on the Saber 60. I mean on the Pulsar at that point. But getting a little more strength even than the Saber 60, so that's interesting. All right. Is it faster going? It's gotta be, right? Wow, look how close to 17 we got. Those were some just good size bream. You know, a lot of times when you start counting how many bream you have over a kilo, almost all of them are right at a kilo. But we had a whole line over 2 kilos. It's pretty solid. This is twice in a row, by the way, that we've had the unlucky cafe situation of no bream cafe orders. Okay, so I don't know. During the middle of the day, do we really think we're going to get 4 of them over 1.1 kilo on Gibble? Probably not. I don't see anything that jumps out as like, oh, we definitely need to do orders here at Old Berg. 104 silver overnight. We'll take it. On average, you're going to do a little better when you have the cafe order, but still not bad. Still not bad. That puts us at 489. Let's just see what we've got here order-wise. And if there's nothing we want to pursue for a few minutes, then maybe we just go fish at Belaya again. Randomly. I think once you get to this point in the morning, though, at Belaya, you run the risk of, if you miss that early morning, it can be tough. Okay. I'm not loving anything here. I really just don't know. I'm not sure about spots at Mosquito right now. I haven't fished here in a while. It's been, a while other than going for rough at that one spot. I mean, these 2 orders you would think would be relatively easy. Same with the roach. You've got 15 hours on that one, but you would think we might be able to. Okay, that one's about to roll off actually, but these 2 we've got time, and you would think they could come in any number of places. All right, so what baits do we think would have the best bite rate? Just catching a few, so we want to go down in size, like 16 Crucian Gibble. We could go egg dough. Technically, we're not supposed to use egg dough. We didn't come by that naturally. So, pearl barley and maybe sweet dough or semolina. Let's try all three. Pearl barley, sweet dough, semolina. And I think I'll just spread these out a little bit. Just see if anything's biting here right now. So we're not really, I'm not doing the clip. I'm just casting just slightly in front of us. And then semolina on this one. It's a spot that's usually fairly active. But what I thought we could do is just try to, you know, catch a few fish while we're looking at like what's in stock here in terms of Supercast and all that. A musky strike. Okay. Supercast. I think it's usually in stock because it's not quite popular enough to get. It must be out of stock here. Okay, I bet they have it at Winding. I could be wrong, but so it's 3-star, 8.5. Let's see what we're catching here. All right, sweet dough, roach. Maybe we should go around to that other spot that's over in this corner. That's usually pretty good for Crucian Gibble stuff. I kind of need to make some more sweet dough. I mean, not a ton, but just a little bit. So we need milk and sugar. Okay, as soon as if we get a fish here on the middle line, we're going to move spots real quick. See if we can salvage something for a couple minutes. What is this? It's common carp or something, isn't it? We just got to turn this fish's head and then we're good. This is interesting. You don't expect this to happen at Mosquito, but it looks like some kind of carp, either a common or a mirror, I would guess, has taken to our sweet dough. If it goes past that edge there, which it looks like it might, this may get ugly. We may have to haul it to the left and try to cross the bridge. I also wouldn't be surprised if this fish just pops off the way it's running. Tricky part here is figuring out when do we want to start chasing it. I was not expecting this at Mosquito. Yeah, that is disappointing, just because of how long it was on there for. Popped off. It actually looked like it went right up against that land over there, or just past it maybe. Shook its head, spit the hook. That was interesting. What a weird spot. Yeah, we're catching small bream there right now. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So we're up to 472 silver. We took a step back, but just needed to make some sweet dough. But we still did pretty good on the bream. Probably need to hit the bream again next time, and then maybe get a little better cafe orders somewhere to pursue, or go try some more stuff at Belaya, which could be fun. Okay. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know how your fishing adventures are going. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Tight lines, everybody.